Good evening. Welcome to another fun-filled night here on Spirit Connections. I'm Tiffany Rice, Spirit Medium.
And I'm Stephanie Burke, Spirit Medium. And tonight we have our recurring guests. This is what, the third time that you guys have been on now?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Riley and Stephen Black from Black Cross Paranormal.
Hey guys. Golf clap.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think the last time you were on was September of last year.
Yes.
Because it was I remember it was the first time we had our new time slot on. So we used to be 8 to 9, and now we moved to 7 to 8. So what has been going on this past year?
Oh my Lord, it's been crazy with doing events and paranormal investigations, one right after the other, and then just doing Club Para every Friday has been really just insane.
It's a roller coaster.
And how long have you guys been doing Club Para for?
Oh, it's been
It's been a couple of years now.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years coming
Yeah.
up soon.
Okay. Now, did you guys
2.5
just switch
years.
over
It'll be 3.
station? Because it's all through radio, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you just make the jump to a different station on that? Or?
Club Para has made a jump to a lot of different stations because a lot of people want to replay and do the rebroadcasts. So it's been all over. I'm trying to get it located back to one area so people can easily find it. But now it's on Omni Media Tribe Network, and if anybody wants to go and check that out on Blog Talk, that's where you could find it. Club Para, the Para Lounge, look it up. You can get the newest, interviews that we have. You can get the archives, from weeks ago and listen to some of those. I'm trying to focus now on more of the local teams and more of the teams that haven't been on TV, that don't do a lot of radio, that want their evidence to be heard but are afraid to get it out there because they're afraid of what people might think, instead of focusing on the people that we see on TV all the time now. Do you know?
She had somebody on a couple of weeks ago, and they had some fantastic EVPs, and it's just phenomenal listening to some of this evidence that people bring to the table, and they're not out there doing events. They're not on TV. You know what I mean? They're just in the trenches. And
Right.
that's what she's trying to focus on right now, is bring these people, out and let people hear what they're doing. And
Bring them to light.
Exactly.
Have them have a
Yes.
voice.
Yes, because there's so many, like hundreds of thousands of paranormal teams across the United States and around the world that a lot of them just get overlooked because everybody's focused on what people see on TV, and they don't do events and they don't, do big things to draw attention to their team, but they do have unbelievable evidence. Some of the stuff that I've heard from these little teams are just—it's incredible. It really is. These people should be on TV, doing their thing instead of the same old stuff.
Well, it's hard too because once people are on TV, especially a ghost hunting group, that's what the people see. That's what they relate to. So if they are personally in a situation where they think that they have a haunting in their house, they tend to go to those people because that's what they know. But I think a lot of people don't realize that, like you said, there's hundreds and thousands of smaller groups that are most likely in your neighborhood that you don't even realize. So it's good to kind of have a voice for the smaller groups to get out there.
Yeah, so they like to call in, and play their stuff and tell me their ghost stories, and some of them are just like totally off the wall. And one question I ask everybody when they come on the show is, how did you get into the paranormal? Because everybody's story is different. 95% of everyone tells me, well, I got into it when I was a kid. And then there's that small 5% that's either happened in their adult years or, like Stephen, or, they got into it by either the shows or a friend of theirs. And every once in a while, you'll have a really shocking story that just, really stops me in my tracks. This one guy had a near-death experience where he almost drowned. And that's how he got into the paranormal, because of his near-death experience. That was a really interesting interview. So you have to go, do the archives.
I love listening to everybody's stories too, because like she said, everyone has a different reason why they got into it. And some people got into it because they've seen the shows on TV and they're interested. But there's a lot of people that have had an experience that just, it just changes you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what happened to me,
Well, getting into that, how did both of you meet, first of all, and how did you get into the paranormal?
Oh, we are a love story.
And I want to
waiting
say
to happen.
happy anniversary because it was, we know these
Thank
two
you.
on a personal level, so it was your wedding anniversary,
Yes.
Couple
6
weeks?
years?
Yeah,
6
6
years.
years.
Yeah.
We've been together
6 years.
8, and yeah, we've been married for 6. How did we meet?
Actually, we met kind of nonchalantly in Boston, and I was in Boston doing a fitness modeling actually, and
And this is when I wish we had pictures so we could put it up
Yeah.
on the screen.
she was there. She was there doing work for VH1, and we met at a party, like at a nightclub, and people were, dancing and having a good time, having a few drinks and stuff, and we hit it off, and we exchanged phone numbers, and we're both pretty lit. But,
At least you're honest, yeah.
If anybody knows this, that's nothing new.
well, she found the phone number the next day, and she's like, "Who the hell is this?" But she called me, and it wasn't anything. I mean, at the time she was in Pennsylvania, and here I was in Rhode Island, so there was six and a half hours between us, and we just started talking, and we still hit it off. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it just worked, and we started a relationship, and that's how it all started.
And go on. So then.
That's how it all began.
Well, when I first, told him that I was into the paranormal, I thought I might scare him away.
So you were in the paranormal first, and then you brought him into it.
He
or-
wasn't very verbal about his, involvement in the paranormal at all.
No, I
'cause
wasn't.
you were
I wasn't
raised
that
differently.
active in it. I wasn't active in the field like we are today.
Right, just interested,
But-
just general.
Well, I had experiences, and I had dabbled and done a few things, but when she brought it up, then we're like, okay, yeah, I'm
corrupted
interested,
him. Dun, 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 dun.
and we started, doing more and more.
So I have to ask, is your real last name Black?
Oh my God!
Because I was thinking, and I'm like, Black Cross Paranormal. I'm like, and they both know how this works. And you don't have to answer.
It is.
Okay. But I was just thinking, I'm like, Black Cross Paranormal. Is that your real name?
Well, it's part of the, it's part of the reason why we chose Black Cross Paranormal, but there's another story that the name came about.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know
we
if you
were.
wanna tell that,
When I first retired here to Rhode Island, we decided let's go and do some investigating at this local cemetery, which is 3 miles away. And when we went there, it was like a full moon in the summertime or something. And there's 35,000 people buried there, so all the crosses, when the moon hits them, shadows of all these black crosses go, thousands of them across the ground. I'm like, oh my God, look at these black crosses. And then we started talking, about the investigations and saying if we
and
got our
had
teams together, if
we
would
also
rename it.
had gone to see fireworks in North Attleboro. They have that big festival, Kids Day, and we go into the cemetery and we watch the fireworks from the cemetery. And the same thing, all of
Yeah.
the shadows of the black
Yeah.
crosses, and we're like, look at all the black crosses. And we're like, that's what we're going to name our team, Black
Yeah.
Cross Paranormal.
Somebody else had already asked us that too. Is your last name Black? And I'm like, yes, it is. It's like a non.
Someone said something the other day. They
Not
know
normal
they
name.
know two white couples named Black. They know 2 black couples named White, and
Isn't it funny how?
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a common last name, and it's
No.
very simple, very short.
Well, we
and
have a Facebook friend, Tiffany Black, who does modeling, or she did do modeling. And we used to converse all the time. We haven't
We have a
talked to her
friend
in a while.
named Tiffany Rice too. That's the name of it, right?
Weird.
I
I
think
don't
it
think
might
I've heard
be-
of her.
Tiffany, are you guys
Spirit
related?
Medium
Tiffany and Tiffany?
Spirit Medium Tiffany. My first name is Spirit Medium. My last name is Tiffany. But that's what I mean. I usually go for people that might not have met me. I have a page and it's Spirit Medium Tiffany, so
Right.
a lot of people know me like that. And then once, obviously, you meet me, you know my last name. And
Well, your
obviously I have
last
a
name's all
person.
over the place, so it's not like it's any.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
did you
not
ever
hidden.
Google yourself on
It's
Google?
Tiffany.
And
Her last name's
we
Tiffany.
I
are
just
on-
hope you didn't see any pictures that you shouldn't have.
That's what I worry about all the time.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that's what I
Trust
worry
me, we feel like we're going to be judged every second.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that judge that don't have a
Was
leg
that
to
yours or
stand on.
mine?
Well, you guys do a lot of
was
photo
my mic.
shoots.
Yes.
A lot of them are either shirtless for Steve or in a bikini for you. So yes, it definitely does open yourselves up to judgment, because I used to model too, and people would look at me, and you've said to me before, maybe you shouldn't do pictures like that anymore because, you know, you have a reputation, but that is my reputation just like it is yours.
Right.
So
The thing is people don't realize that, you know, we're not just paranormal investigators.
Right.
Right.
We do have lives. We have other interests. You know, we were talking earlier, I used to tour as a professional drummer. I toured the East Coast. I played huge venues, had a great time. You know, I do computer work, website design.
Right.
I wear a million hats. Fitness modeling was one thing. You know, we've both been in and out of the modeling industry for a long time. We've done a lot of different things. And it's like, okay, you know, are you going to judge me because I wear that hat? You know, you don't even know who I am.
right.
We were just talking about something that I did about 10 years ago, and most of my friends know, and some that don't. You know, I'm sure I'd be judged for
What was
doing
it?
that. I know.
I was gonna say, now that you brought it up, you know
What
they're
was
gonna
it?
ask.
Yeah.
She
Nope.
used to be
A salesperson
for a certain company.
for a certain company.
Okay.
Yes.
Am I afraid? Am I gonna?
Based out of Woonsocket, actually.
We'll
based
ask
out of
her.
Rhode
We'll ask
Island.
off camera.
We'll ask
Yes.
her.
Yes.
I was gonna say, you might as well just put it out there.
No, not because you never know if people are under 18 or whatever who are watching. So
Yeah, but the company doesn't.
See, anybody who's under the age of
Does it
18
begin
shouldn't
with an A?
even be watching when we
Company?
are on here,
Yes.
because you never know when something might accidentally
I know.
fly out. You know what I mean?
But no, the company doesn't say anything. But if you said what the company sells, you might have an
Right.
issue.
right.
That's why I said I was going
Yeah,
to.
but that's
put it-
no big deal. Like, you know, people do stuff to survive,
Right. You do what
know,
you have to
you-
do, and you know,
or what you're good at, or
We
what you
say-
can do.
our first thing is spirit medium, but like Steph is sitting on a whole franchise. I don't even know if I can call it a franchise,
Mm-hmm.
but Steph does very well at another source in her life, and she,
a
you
lot
know,
of different things.
right.
Spirit
So
medium
it's
isn't the first thing.
Exactly.
I'm Stephanie first.
Yeah.
Just like you should be
That's
Tiffany
right.
first.
right. But what I'm saying is that
We-
everybody
But that's her
All
last
have
name.
different. Yes, it is her last name.
we
But
have different.
everybody does, and I don't think
Yeah.
it's right for people to judge your everyday life just because you're part of a paranormal group and you do put yourself out there and you do events and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that's just who you are and
Well, and
that's it.
I think part of it is, you know, I mean, we have social media, Facebook, for instance,
Yep.
which is a big one for us.
Great for business.
We let
horrible
people on our
everything else.
page, you know, we let people on our pages that request to be friends with us. And then it's like, you know, you see them cutting people down because they're taking acting classes or modeling or whatever it is. They're on a rant about, you know, people doing these things. Well, we do these things, so you're off my page, you know what I mean? I don't want to see that negativity because we're people, just like everyone else, you know?
I think being in the spotlight per se, not so much a huge spotlight, but any type of spotlight, people start deciding who you are for you. And then they start judging you based off of that. And is it right? No, but I don't know why that's the mentality of people, but it is. I started kicking everybody off my personal Facebook page, and I started a like page. You want to like me? You want to stay up to date with my business? Go on over there. All these crazy friend requests, not allowed on my page anymore.
That's how I am now. Now everybody wants to follow me, but they won't. Like I won't put them on my page, but they do want to follow me. Didn't see that. Sorry.
Usually it's me first to do.
But I don't even let them follow me.
Well, I
I just
don't
don't.
mind. It's just it is what it is.
There's a
I
lot
really
of
don't
freaks
care
in the
what
world.
people say
Yeah.
about me, as long as they don't talk about my family.
Absolutely.
Then I get a
Yep.
little bit perturbed.
Well,
But-
that's not right. None of it is. But unfortunately, that's how people are these days, especially in the paranormal.
Oh, I know. And you know what though?
It's
It's like
chaos.
with
It's very chaotic, and I don't know why.
I'm just
Peace,
not-
love,
I think
and
over the
happiness.
last year and a half, we have seen so much like drama in the
There's
paranormal
been
field.
a lot.
It's been crazy.
It's comical.
It is.
I
it's
sit back and laugh
laughable.
at a lot of it. I can't say I've been in the middle of any of it. I've had people that have
That we
tried-
don't know about. We very well could be, but we just don't know.
We don't know and we don't care. But I can say I've had, issues with certain people trying to exploit me for their own pockets, but that's probably the worst that I've dealt with. But I
Right.
think in the past year, whether it be, you know, social media, regular media, anything, has started to make certain people that we may know or know of or not know yet, makes it easier for them to get on nationally syndicated television shows. So it's almost like the cutthroat went from like here to here, and everybody just decided like, well, you know, I was friends with them, but I'm going to use their evidence to get on this show, and then that person's going to be mad at me.
That's not
and
good.
But that always seems to be
It's
like
been
a
crazy.
driving force is like, what's going to be the next show? Can we get, you know,
Can we get on it?
always
What's
about
it going to pay
that.
me? Is it
Right.
going to make me famous? And I
If
think
you guys knew how many times we got approached by people that just want us to,
They want us to do a show,
and we just
and we
won't.
just said no.
it's a good thing, though.
You know,
If you're staying true to yourself, then I think
I'll
that's
do
really
radio.
important.
I'm good at radio because I love to talk and I love to talk to people. But, you know, as far as getting on a show and having producers and editors, no offense, y'all, you know, cut, you know, evidence out just to make a show shorter or fit in a time frame or whatever. That one key piece of evidence might be something that tells the story and it just doesn't get said. And you and I and we all know people who have been on TV before that have just gotten the axe, and you know, it's just, why bother? At least with radio, you can control, you know, what you say, who you say it to.
I will say, sorry, I know you,
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
like,
gonna say
"Ah,"
something. Go ahead.
but I just wanted to say one thing, is the people that we do know that have been on TV, they're all very humble, and I
They
love
are.
them.
Yeah,
they're all
normal.
good
Some of
people.
them.
They're
Yeah, I mean,
normal,
maybe
lovable people.
there's probably like 2% of the people that we are acquaintances with
Yeah.
that, you know, take them or leave it.
I've
But
seen some of them that I know personally that go on and say, "This was the scariest moment in my life." Hollywood makes you say stuff like
Right.
that, and it's truly not
Yeah,
that.
it's
I think
editing.
if you're gonna be on television, you should do it for the greater good of everybody that's
What do they
watching
call it?
not for your pocket.
Entertainment licensing.
Oh God,
You know.
that's a whole
I've
other
heard
ball
people
of
that
wax.
I know too that said, "Oh my God, they totally butchered that show, and that's not what I said." But that's what Hollywood does. They
Right.
need to make the show
They
sell.
need to make it. That's why they're in business.
So you shouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I think if the opportunity was right, would we do something on TV? Maybe, you know. I'm not saying we would never do it. It's just we've
I would
said
like
no to a
host-
lot of things.
I would like to host my own show. Can you see me hosting my own show?
Why not?
God help everyone who watches. I'm just letting you know now.
well, Club Perry, you're the host. right?
Yes, but it's not on camera, thank God, because if it was on camera, I mean, you'd see the blooper button, like in the
beep, beep.
That usually happens with us. We've been on, you know, we've been trying to be good with
So far, so
everything.
good.
I say,
but
there's
So far,
never
so
been a
good
bleep
today.
on our show, not by us.
I'm always like, wait a minute, what?
We've
Huh?
had some people truly surprise us, where we both look a little shocked. That's
Right.
probably a good episode to play back.
I've
and
been
watch.
good. I've been good, you know, since we've been coming on your show, only because I like coming on your show.
See, your earrings match my shirt.
Oh yeah, I got these in Salem. Steve and I were in Salem, and you know,
Oh.
we have done Salem 3 times as well. We've been there in the off season. We've been there on Halloween Eve
We
at a
investigated
costume
there.
at a costume party. We investigated there, yeah, on the off season, and we went there on October 26th during the day, which don't do because it took us 2 hours
Forever.
just to get into the city, and another hour to drive around to find a parking
Find a parking spot.
I'm ready to throw money at the characters that are walking just so they give me the hint on where there is parking in Salem. But then, you know, it's just once you get out of the car and you're like, freedom! And then you just, you know.
As
just
she
go.
was.
Yeah, and then I
All the
have to,
stores, you know.
But here's the thing about all the stores.
And
I had
I'm
to wait
walking
in
behind
line.
her carrying the
Yes.
bag.
So I don't know what's worse,
Yes,
waiting
dear.
in the car to get into Salem or waiting in line to get into the store. You know, it's like,
Gonna go in September or totally off season?
I love going off season. I'm
Yeah.
not one for big crowds.
It's beautiful
So-
off
Yeah, but-
season, you know.
Experiencing Salem in the big crowd is something in itself too. If you've never experienced that, you have to experience that. But if you go just for the love of the actual city, then off season's great too.
yeah. Think of Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and that's
Only
Salem
in Halloween
October.
costume. Yep. I was in Boston on Halloween. We went to the World Series Game 6 the night before. And we were in Boston in the morning. I'm like, you want to go over like half hour to Salem? And I was like, we're probably going to sit in traffic for 3 hours, so maybe not.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. If you read my Facebook post, I was like, beep 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 beep. Yeah, swearing.
Yep, but Salem is an awesome place to go, especially if you know where to go. People kind of just go just like when they show up to this area and go, let's go to the Bridgewater Triangle. And they have no idea what it is. Like, let's go to Salem because we don't know what it is. But if you truly know and you know where to go, and it's a really cool place to be.
Yeah, it is.
I was lucky enough to do a reading. I did a private reading for someone that lived a couple houses down from the Salem Witch Museum. So I think it's Court Street. I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong on the name of the street. But going into this house, it was incredible. It was gorgeous. And just overlooking everything. It was amazing. There's just so much history.
I love the houses
It
up
is
there
beautiful.
from the 1600s, from the late 1600s.
Oh, yeah. And they were all, this woman that I gave a reading to actually had a museum, so she had a ton of artifacts in her house, and it was gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, win the millions.
It was nice. It was very nice.
I'm a big history nerd. Anything to do with history. I'm obsessed. So every time I go to read someplace, with historical anything, I go through my reading as fast as possible, and I come out, I'm like, okay, now please sit down and tell me all about the history of this place, because that's all I care about. I hope you get a great
awesome.
reading, but I really want to know.
I
So
love it.
I,
Well, it's good
I love
for
doing
a
that stuff.
paranormal investigator
Yeah.
too,
Yep.
to have that.
Speaking of that, what was your
Interest.
last investigation that you did?
Guess. I'll give you
Slaterville.
one. Yes. That's the last place we were. We were asked to go. That's why.
Yeah.
We always get asked to go there.
On
And we
Halloween,
love that
yeah.
place. So and it was on Halloween, so we went down there.
We take all of our equipment down there, and we show all the people who want to go on the ghost tours what real-time recording sounds like, how to use a REM pod, what a millimeter does, what a
teach
K2
people.
does.
Right.
We teach them. They could actually, pick up the equipment and feel it and play with it and, see what a same thing does on TV does, on their investigation or ghost tour. What really shocks them is when they hear the real time and how sensitive it is. And then when the REM pod goes off, then they're like, oh my God,
I know.
it's Casper.
Oh, the lights.
It reminds me of that game, was it Simon?
Yes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it looks like, and that's what it reminds me of. Every time I see one, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Simon.
Yeah, we had a few hits on in the Sylvanus Brown house actually, and usually we only get a little bit of stuff there, but this was like setting the REM pod off to the different colors. Usually it'll hit just the green. It's like a small
Right.
hit,
Right.
and but this was setting the numerous colors off, which was pretty cool, and people were all like, "What's going on? What is
I'm
that?"
actually going through audio now that I have had for months, and I haven't even had a chance to go through it. So as soon as I
know.
get through that, then I'll be able to get to the stuff we had for Slater.
We have a ton of audio.
That's bad.
That's my least
See, that's
favorite.
the part that
it
people
takes
don't
a long
see.
time. No, we always say this too.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
files upon files upon files of some of the most amazing places, and I have not gone through one of them. And it's just because I think it's when you hear it yourself and you're giving the reading. I can't pay attention. People have tried to hand me ghost meters. I totally forget it's in my pocket. It's
Yeah.
going off the whole time. I can't.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a
Right.
different zone and you're hearing different things, and I'll have a recorder in my pocket the whole time, or I'll be holding it, and then I totally forget about it. So I have a ton of files, and
It's
I'm
been a
guilty.
long time since I recorded.
You guys should get back
I
on
used
it.
to. I know. I was part of a group called Spies, which was South
Spies?
Spies.
and it's South Shore Paranormal Investigators East Coast Society.
Say that
That
again.
5 times
I
fast.
know. I don't because I don't want to mess it. No, it's South Shore Paranormal Investigators East Coast Society. It was back in 2008. I didn't
It's
name
one
it.
of those groups
I
that
didn't name it.
make it so it spells something out. Like,
Right.
Right.
Like Rise
So-
Up spells something.
Oh, it does? Does
Yes.
it really?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
Rhode Island.
Hold on, I'll tell you in a
Rhode
minute.
Island.
Yeah, Rhode Island.
Yeah, Tiff, we got
So-
the Rhode Island. That was the easy part.
Rhode Island.
I didn't even know.
South-
Sorry, Ken. I didn't know.
South
Ken, don't
East.
kill us.
Southeast.
I knew at one point. The
Paranormal.
Rhode Island Society for the Examination of Unusual Phenomena.
Yeah,
No.
Rise Up.
That's not what it means at all. No. Sorry, Ken.
We're just gonna call it Rise Up. I go
So,
with that.
I mean, when I was doing that, that's how I really started to get involved in actually going on location. My first investigation was Lizzie Borden's house.
Oh,
And
cool.
so we had rented out Lizzie Borden's, and again, this was back in 2008, and I was all about the digital recorder and going over evidence, and I loved going over evidence, but it was just because I would just be able to just sit there and listen. But
When it's all new and you're all
exactly.
excited.
Waverly Hills Sanitarium, we did that, same thing.
I think
But
we
I
did-
would have it, sorry, my other teammates would have whatever their equipment. We were all responsible for our own stuff,
Right.
so. it was
I
good.
think we get, well, I know I do, desensitized to activity.
Mhm.
Because I see certain things that happen and I don't get excited anymore.
That's not good.
Like it has to be, well, with paranormal activity.
I was going to say, because we need to fix that.
Yeah.
Not with other things. I'm
I
fine
still get
with
excited
that.
and surprised. Let's hope so. If that's the case, that's a personal problem that you have to
I
fix
stay
later.
in shape. No.
Stay in shape.
You know, stay in
Happy
shape, eat healthy. No, like little things will happen and people get really excited. And I remember where I used to get really excited over these little things, but it's like no big deal anymore. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, we caught this class A. We were just walking through the cemetery, and I turned on my recorder because we were just doing a little bit of filming, and all of our equipment started to die. So as
Of course.
as normal, and I could
step
hear
one,
Steve
right?
saying, "All of our equipment is dying. We need to get going. It's time to go." And then you hear this voice, this male voice, go, "Who cares?" Just as loud as I am talking to you, and I was just
Funny.
like, "What?"
Right.
And I was so excited, but then when I play it for him, he's like, "Yeah, all right."
I think my favorite stuff is the stuff that you can't replicate. The stuff that happens in person that totally sends like the hair in the back of your neck, like standing straight up.
Right.
Stuff that you audibly hear, like that stuff that you can't make happen again. That stuff really excites me. Or when you see something that could never have happened, like I could sit here and list a million things that I've been like, wow, that's really weird. And I'll sit there and I'll say like, that's really weird. And people around me going, are you serious? That really just happened? But I'm still trying to process it through my head. Like that really just happened. It makes you wonder.
But even when we do readings, I think it's the same thing. Whether
I still
it's
get
a walk-
excited.
Yeah, I get excited. Or if we're doing a walkthrough and having a curator follow us around and say, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing," or this, and they'll
Right.
validate
The
it. Like,
reaction.
that's
Or knowing that you're actually hearing something from someone. Like when we went to the Nathaniel Green house, I walked out of there saying I never thought I'd be able to talk to Nathaniel Green, like Washington's right-hand man.
Right.
Like you read about it in history books, but the fact that I just had a whole entire conversation with him and his wife was kind of weird. Still not over that, but it's different. Like I kept talking and I'm like, what is this? I was talking to Lafayette too. Totally strange.
I
have-
actually caught audio of Nathaniel Green talking to Lafayette in the dining room and
The
saying
name
his name.
comes up
Right.
on the EVP, Lafayette.
Because I didn't know who that was at first, so I had to ask
History
Richard
nerd.
or Robert.
Richard.
Richard, yes, who that was. And the moment I asked him that, he knew that
He's
I
awesome and
love
animated.
him.
I love
Awesome.
the fact that how animated he is.
Yes.
He knows so much about
He
that.
does.
That
Which was
cemetery
awesome.
at Nathaniel Green, I want to get everybody together and volunteer and help clean up that cemetery and
It's all
deweed
overgrown
it.
and everything, and-
Because I'm planting tulips in the back on my back deck to replant them, in the springtime over at Nathaniel Green Cemetery
That's
to
cool.
get that cleaned up and start looking better because there's only 12 stones in a little area that's has rocks around it, to.
Well, you were there.
You guys been
We
there.
didn't get to go down to the
Oh, you didn't go-
cemetery.
you
It was
didn't go up
raining
there?
Pouring.
so
Pouring
hard.
out when we
Yeah,
And
and
we
the,
were not
all the
dressed for
stones
rain.
are
Yeah.
just laid over and they're broken, and you can't dig them out because the ground has just totally taken them back.
Yeah, the
Right.
ground is like swallowing them.
So we just want
so
to,
deep in the ground.
I want to plant some flowers. Plus, there was a guy that was murdered there in the cemetery. He was, what was it, a satanic thing or something?
Some kind of ritual or something that
Yeah,
somebody did.
before Richard became, how he is now, where he is now. I guess the people that lived there before, she found the body. Freaked her out so much she had to move.
I can't say I blame her.
No.
It's right in the backyard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, personally, for me, I would have been like, yeah, let me get my equipment. I'll be right down there.
Let me get my equipment.
So I'll step over you and I'll
Who did this to you? No.
Quick, tell me now.
Which raises
make light of
another
it.
question. On the show before, you had mentioned that you were a little bit of an empath.
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you say, do you have any interest in doing Reiki or doing anything more with
With healing and
that?
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
with healing.
Right now, I'm trying to heal my own body through physical therapy and just stretching and stuff because I have really bad legs. I've had severe surgeries on my legs, like 7 of them. So I've been strengthening them 3 times a week for the last 3 years. And once I get that done, I haven't tried Reiki yet on my legs. Somebody told me that today.
Well, you're in between 2 Reiki masters.
Yeah, I know. She should lay me here out on the table. And
Get on the table right now. I'm kidding. You never know what
She's
you're going
not
to see
kidding.
here. Yeah.
And then just do your thing.
Right.
Yeah. And do
I have
your
a
thing.
Mr.
massage
Miyagi
table.
style. Mr. Miyagi style.
That's what
I
you
saw
need.
it.
Oh, TMI?
Wax off. But as an empath, I try to use it in the investigations as best I can.
Right.
Though people who know, like a couple friends of ours who go on investigations with us, they're like, "Come on, use it. You could use it. Stir it up. Kick the crap around." I almost said the other word. Yes, kick the dust up. Get them mad or something. Like, but they always attack me when I get them mad. So no, you do it and you get them mad. And just
Well, not to change the subject off of the investigation, but at Salem, towards the end of the, a couple of hours or 3 hours of
that
being
was a
there,
mess.
she was starting to get, it was too much. Too
Right.
many people around her. We had to go. We had to get
I
out
was
of there.
it was bad. It was just so much energy from past and present. It's just that I started getting really dizzy and disoriented, and I didn't know where anything was or anybody was really.
Yeah,
It was just-
we try to go one way, and she's like off the other direction, and she
That happens a lot.
knew.
The first time
You
I
know,
went
but
to
she
Salem,
was-
it happened to me, and I slept the whole car ride home.
Yeah, she was like totally disoriented.
That was when I didn't really have a whole control over what empathic was, what it meant, how it worked. So
I have
it
somewhat
took
of a
me
control,
years.
a little bit.
It took me years to get it.
It takes a while.
It's still
you know.
like if I'm not paying attention, it can still get the best of me.
You
Yeah,
guys
it
should
did.
get together with her and teach her a few tricks
Yeah,
and tips.
I mean,
or
I
something.
could do the whole
do-
blocking
Tricks and
thing
tips.
for a couple of
Well,
hours, but
No,
then
it's
that's
true,
it.
it's true.
After that,
It
I'm
takes-
too
Things
weak.
to,
and I
It
You
takes
know,
a lot of
get that focus
practice.
where it needs to be.
Yeah, and you have to. You have to focus, or you'll just be all over
Pretty
the
sure we
place.
talked about this on our first show
We
with you, and
did.
it still hasn't
It
happened.
still hasn't happened.
We blame
guys
you.
live like way out and like.
I'm not that far from you.
Yeah, I'm only about.
I'm only about a half
Half
hour
hour.
from you.
Oh well, then what is your reason? Like, let's go. I'm home.
Invite us on over.
My door is always open, and you guys are more than welcome to stop by.
Well, we have to come by and play with Lily again, anyways.
Yes.
Yes, Lily
And
loves
did you dress
company.
Lily up for
I
Halloween?
wanted to as a big banana, but
Oh, you should have.
Ryan.
Oh, you guys
our
didn't see
son-
that picture, did you?
No.
Our son
I
Ryan
had-
wanted to go as a big banana Halloweening, and he's 14 years old, and I just was not going to even ask why.
Well, and I tried the costume on,
Yeah.
and they took
Oh,
a
no.
picture of me and put it on Facebook. I put it on Facebook.
I don't think I
Again,
saw
another
that.
time when I wish we had the picture so we could say, oh,
Yes,
so that's you.
That would be really good. That would be awesome.
I dressed up my girls. Olive was a shark. Well, actually, was being eaten by a shark. Chloe,
Man, that's terrible.
well, she loved it. She,
kinda cute.
like,
I mean, yeah, I'm sure.
I
it
put
was
it
cute.
on her, and she was like, "Hey,
That's
what is
funny.
this? I'm in satin." And so,
That's funny.
and then Chloe was a caterpillar. She's the Yorkie mix, and then Lily was a spider.
oh,
So,
wow.
poor
Yeah, those
Chloe,
are
though.
creepy.
When-
Those dog spider costumes.
See, if I tried to put a
See-
costume on Lily, she would look at me like I'm like death warmed over. She,
Oh, yes, that's
she
what my
hates me
Maltese
when I
looks
have
at
to
me
put her
like.
diaper on. She does. She just looks at me like, "Well, I hate you right now."
I felt bad for Chloe because when I put it on, it was her first Halloween, so actually second. I forced her into like a little sweater last year. But this year, I put it on her, and it covered her whole body, and the poor thing, she just wouldn't move. And then I'd call her, and she'd just move
Yep.
her eyes and look at me. I'm like, oh, she just isn't happy in this. And then she just went in her crate and just laid there. I'm like,
Aw.
okay, now this is just depressing.
That's not nice.
Yeah.
Dogs don't like
But
to be
over by
dressed.
our house, we get hundreds of trick-or-treaters. It is absolutely crazy there. We had some help this year. Tracy Muller, she was staying with us, and I put her to work So I gave her a big bowl. I mean, the bowl was like this big, and I gave it to her, and I said, "Now go outside and don't
hand out the candy.
hand it to them. Don't hit them with it. You know, just
Don't hit them.
throw
Okay.
it at them."
Don't throw it at them and
Adam, I
see who you can hit from this, you know,
So
stairway.
I'm standing out there, and she walks back into the house to get some more candy, and I have like 30 kids running through our grass in the front yard, trampling my flowers, trying to get in a line on the sidewalk just to get a piece, one little single piece
It's
of candy.
chaotic. They drop them off by the van loads in our
Yep.
neighborhood. Because the houses are, they're kind of, you've been in
guys
our
have been
house,
to our
the
house.
houses are close together, so the kids make a killing going through there.
Yeah. So I told Steven, I said, I think next year we should get everybody on the block involved and throw a big carnival because when
you
we
go.
tried to get out of there to go to Slater, it was like hordes of
can't, yeah.
people were in the way and we
Yeah.
couldn't even
Yeah.
move the car.
But I want to say,
Block party next Halloween.
yeah, one year,
If that's your real
people
name.
opened their houses to, like, they made haunted houses and let
That's
people
cool.
come through.
They have it, yeah.
And they
I've
were
seen
playing the
that.
music, and they actually had floats and stuff going down our street.
Wow.
That's how many people come through our neighborhood. It's like crazy, crazy.
I got really excited for my first Halloween at my new house. I bought a house. I'm like, yes. It was like
Nice.
the next, like, I think we moved in like a couple weeks before Halloween. So I'm like, yes. I'm gonna have so many trick-or-treaters. I had the book from Hocus Pocus. When you open it, it like plays Hocus Pocus music and stuff. It keeps the candy in there. I'm so excited. Dress up. Sat there by myself. No trick-or-treaters.
Oh,
not
really?
one. Not one trick-or-treater.
Oh, no.
I was so sad.
Well, you can
Like
come over
the
to
socks.
our house
And hand
Oh,
out candy.
and dress
It's
up.
like my favorite thing ever. I wanted to do it so bad, and
We will
Nothing.
design the house. Well, our house is haunted anyway, so we'll just design the front of it as like an old haunted house and play
There
Thriller
you
by
go.
Michael Jackson and just, you could open the door and it'll go, and just step right on out there. And yeah, because I'm telling you, we will raise so much money if we just had a block party or
What are you
just
raising money for?
pay for all the alcohol.
I was like, oh, a fundraiser.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
I'm with you now.
Fundraiser. She raised
Well, you guys
money
did
for
meet
the
through
alcohol.
spirits, so. Get it?
This is true.
Get it?
see what you did there.
Yeah, we can do
I saw
Spirit
what you-
Connections live from our
There you go.
our block party, and you guys can interview like all these little kids because the costume that these kids come up with. This one guy knocks on the door and he's dressed as a sheriff, and this one girl behind him goes, "Do you know who this is?" And I'm thinking, okay, New Kids on the Block singer, you know, like I didn't know because I didn't know
YMCA.
him.
What
I
are
didn't
those
know,
guys?
no, I didn't know his face, right? I said, are you saying the face or like the person or the character he's dressed up as, you know? And she said, no, the character. I'm like, oh yeah, the sheriff from The Walking Dead. He was the sheriff from The Walking Dead. But he looked like New Kids on the Block, so I don't know what he was doing.
That's
never know.
interesting. Sign me up for both.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's illegal in the state of Mass and Rhode Island.
Well, I mean, how old was he? Because I'm
He
was
in
an
his
adult.
20s.
Yeah,
He was the
Really?
adult walking the
The,
kids
the
around.
adults
Yeah.
actually
that's-
come up to the door and dress up for candy too.
Yeah, the block
Sounds
party's looking better and better.
Even the adults, even
Walking
the adults
Dead and
do
New Kids
that.
on the Block,
Yeah.
two of my favorite things.
Yeah, he looked like what's that?
Well, now she's
lead
not
singer?
going to sleep tonight. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Joe McIntyre,
New Kids on the Block.
Donnie
Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie Wahlberg.
What's his face? Yeah, that's what he looked like. Yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Don't tell her that.
Donnie, what's his face from Boston?
Donnie Wahlberg.
Don't tell her that.
Yeah.
For
Well,
the,
they're
next,
all from Boston.
for the next 20 minutes, she'll be talking about Donnie Wahlberg in The Walking Dead, and we won't
Did
hear
you
the
see
end of it.
the No Pain? Is it No Pain, No Gain movie?
No.
I haven't seen
That's
that.
with
no.
Mark. Not
Well, I mean,
Donnie.
you can put both
Mark
Wahlbergs
Wahlberg.
in the same room together, and that's.
He gained all kinds of weight. He was jacked for that movie.
That movie was stupid.
I know, but I liked it because I like that stuff.
And we have an airplane.
We have an
Thanks,
airplane.
Matt.
Is there a special
Gonna
note?
fly
Is
to the
there,
area.
Was it?
we have Matt
Is it flying
Moniz.
by?
Matt, you want to come on?
Wait
and
a
say
minute. Was that an unidentified flying object?
Exactly.
It was a UFO.
But there's
and
no
then-
secret love note.
Oh, there's no notes or letters or.
Just skillet aerodynamics.
Can I fly?
I'm
Are
going to
you
send
gonna
it back. Oh, you can send it back. Go ahead. It has to come back with a secret love
By the
note.
way,
Oh,
Matt, my
dive
mom,
bomb.
Roswell.
my mom was asking about you on Sunday.
She was?
Yes.
All right, we'll go.
Walks across the camera.
So, how's Mom?
Judy Rice is doing fine, absolutely fine. She loves hearing the stories that I tell about you and Andy all the time, and she always uses the
Which
last
stories are you telling her?
Ruh-roh.
The ones that she can.
name. The ones that I can tell.
Okay.
The only G-rated, because
Okay.
Judy Rice can't handle anything above.
Judy Rice rated. Gotcha.
Judy Rice, yeah. JR rated.
Mind if I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
All right.
Would you like to have a seat? I can get up.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
All
Sit
right.
on.
My question is,
But no, you can sit. I
if I put my weight on you, your legs are going to
Yeah,
fall asleep very
you're gonna-
quickly.
really?
Not be
Okay.
doing
Do
so
you want
I
to
weigh about 200 pounds, trust me. My question to you guys is, what is the most life-altering experience you've had doing this? Is there one particular salient event that solidified in your minds that this is something that I want to do?
That's a good question.
Yes.
That's why I
And
asked.
actually, it just happened recently for me.
Okay.
Being like my aunt passed away at the beginning of October, and she was like a mother to me. She raised me my entire life. She's always been there. So when her death happened, it threw me. The life-changing experience I had was during her funeral, when I used what I know in paranormal investigating and being a paranormal investigator, that there is more out there, and it actually helped me deal with this and get through this. And you know, I think that for me, I can use this again in further along in my life, that there are things that are out there that I cannot be explained, and I know that wherever she is happy. And I asked her before she passed away, years, I've been telling her this for years, send me a sign, let me know something, let me know. And people would say it's a coincidence, people would
There are
just
no
call it luck
coincidences.
or whatever. But I said, as I was leaving the funeral, I said, if you're up there, and you can help out, let me win the lottery or something, something I can help my family with, I'd be happy. No sooner than I get home, the next day I get a letter in the mail saying that I'm getting a check for $5,000, just like that. And I was just really,
The state owed her money.
from
State's actually giving you money.
yeah.
That is paranormal.
But
Rhode Island, it's Rhode
Well,
Island.
actually, it was
Right.
but the whole story was just
Very
using what I know as a paranormal investigator and knowing that I've heard audio, I've heard spirits with regret. I know that my aunt has none, so I know that wherever she is happy. But knowing what I know has helped me through this a lot, and this is a very, very life-changing experience for me, a very big one. And I thank God that I know what I know.
Well, I do want to thank you for sharing it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. How about you?
I mean, mine, I kind of have like a couple of different things that I experienced. The first thing that happened to me was a full body apparition. I witnessed a
Started
full body
off in the deep end
apparition.
of the pool.
I did, and it wasn't until I was 36. So I was, well into my adult years when it happened, and it happened out of nowhere. It wasn't like, I was doing investigating or anything like that. So that was number one. That was a big life-changing event for me, because that's when I really started
did it change?
to get into it. I wasn't interested in the paranormal before that. I had no.
Apparently, it's interested in you.
Yeah, right. So it changed my whole outlook on religion. I was brought up Roman Catholic,
My
and
condolences.
heaven and hell and purgatory. That's all there is, that's what I was taught. And after that happened, I was like, well, wait a minute. Now I'm questioning everything, It's like there's so much more out there. I've had 3, they call them visitations. It's when a relative visits you when you're sleeping or whatever, but it's not like a dream at all. I've had 3 of those, and 1 precognitive dream. And that dream, I told no less than 5 people about it the morning I had it. The very next day it came true, and that was when Johnny Cash died.
It's called a portent.
What is it?
A portent.
A portent?
Yes.
Yeah. It
Something-
was very important to me. No. Just kidding.
It means there's something to come. It's a a prophetic dream.
Yeah, and it just
Wow.
it blows your mind when things like that happen. Well, to me, it's hard to explain. You can't explain these things.
Nope.
So I mean, those things have really changed the way I thought and felt about what's out there in our lives, in our daily lives. We have activity at our house all the time. She mentioned it earlier that our house is haunted.
Oh, yes.
And,
yes.
we
Joe
had
Chin was sitting there not too long ago from Ghost Hunters International, and he's a good friend of ours. And he kept looking over like this. Like,
He's so
and I
funny.
said, "What are you looking at?" And he goes, "There's something over there moving back and forth like a shadow." And I said, "Oh, yeah, this place is haunted."
Yeah,
He goes,
that's
"You
right.
know, as a paranormal investigator, you should be investigating."
So
We've lived
basically, to sum up, I would say that you had positive outcomes from these experiences.
Oh yeah,
It has changed your life in a positive manner?
absolutely.
Okay.
Well, if it was
I didn't wanna
negative,
put
I wouldn't
words
be
in your
doing
mouth.
it anymore.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be doing the things that I do. I probably, together, these things that we do together,
And it
wouldn't be doing them.
Definitely has brought
If I
your
was-
relationship closer because you both share the same passion.
Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt. I
And it's
mean,
not just regular.
well, yeah. People who
Well,
know us in
well,
the
Extra
field.
passion.
Yeah, passion, more passion.
People who know us in the field know that we work really well together. We're best friends and we get along. And some, there's marriage bickering, but that's when you have somebody
Marriage and
who
bickering?
What?
who
That happens?
if you have somebody who shares the same passion as you, the same interests, then it's easy to get along and to do things together as a family. But when you love one thing and somebody loves something else so much so that they don't even want to get involved in what you like, then that's distance and it separates you as a couple.
Well,
Well,
people
you
can
have a
grow
little
apart.
diversity too,
Yeah.
isn't
Right,
it?
that's true. That is true. But like when he does the gym thing all the time, and when we first started dating, I didn't, and I knew the only time I would see him is if I did the gym thing. So I learned to like
Weird
it.
how that works.
Do you see what I mean?
No, I got you.
Some
but she does
couples
like it.
won't
And I'm
won't
sure you
learn to
dragged
like
him
that.
to plenty of chick flicks and other things.
I have, when
I
he
sit
would
through them with
screw
her.
up, I would make him watch like
It's love.
the tear jerking, like me balling tissues up.
Yeah,
my
and
nose.
she'll be like bawling her eyes out, and I'll be sitting there. It's okay.
Yeah.
That was Brendan during the Notebook. He was like, "Oh, good, it's over. Can we go get something to eat
Yeah,
now?"
I was like,
Didn't care.
ice cream.
By
Yeah.
the way, the Hallmark Channel is putting on great movies now because it's all
From
holiday
now
movies.
till Christmas.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I don't like the.
Sorry for taking over your show.
See, no, the
Oh,
one,
it's okay.
the one I
worries.
will not watch is the Christmas Shoes. I refuse to watch the Christmas
Oh,
Shoes.
is that
haven't
with
seen
the
that
mother
one.
who dies?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't watch
I
any
can't-
death right
I
now.
can't do that,
I
no.
think it's hard for me to even listen to EVPs. After she passed, and I had to do the radio show right after that, it kept throwing me every time I had to listen to other people's evidence because it hits you very close to home. As an investigator, most of the time you're investigating somebody else's life, somebody else's history, trying to get their information, trying to get their evidence captured after they're gone.
Yeah, so you're not
But-
thinking about.
Well, no, you're not. And when it's your family member that you're very close to has passed, hearing it kind of I don't know, flips you out a little bit, And that's why we had to take October off, and just get back
Yeah,
into.
we canceled pretty much everything for the month of October.
Yeah, and get back into.
Well,
it.
you need to go through that grieving process anyways, because it's definitely not healthy
That's
to
the
go through it.
busiest month, for all of us.
Yeah.
And we just
Yeah, pull the plugs.
scratched everything.
Because if you're
But
like,
it was the right thing to do.
You know,
But
when you
we're
do it-
human, we just like
Yeah.
Steph said, like you have to give yourself that time to grieve and again, bottom line, we're human and that's what we have to do. We have to family first.
When you go on investigations, you have to have your head in the game. Well, I know I do because as an empath, if you don't have your head on screwed right, you're going to get messed with. Because if the spirits know that they know, you know them.
What I know that you know.
Yeah, they like to have fun with it. They like to see if they can, either attach themselves to you, mess with you, push you, shove you, slap you, pinch you. That's all that's happened to me already. Falling downstairs.
And that was before the investigation. No, just kidding.
That was the warm up, but it does happen, and I think it happens to people a lot who have like the sensitives, the psychics, the empaths, mediums. All get picked on a lot more because the spirits know that we know that they're there.
Well, We try, and I always say set boundaries, but I know I struggle with setting my own boundaries. Steph can attest to that.
We should probably write this down in the history books right now that you admitted
That
that.
I admit.
You and boundaries?
Yeah. Tip doesn't have any of those.
She has a problem setting boundaries.
She does.
But I will sit there and say,
You
you,
heard
need to
that
set
live.
your boundaries.
Yeah, her answer to everybody, whether it makes sense or not, is set your boundaries.
Set your boundaries.
And she doesn't
And
at
then
all.
meanwhile,
Do as I say,
I'll call
not as I
Steph
do.
and I'm,
Yeah.
I'm so tired. Why? Because I just read for 5 hours. What are you doing? I don't know. I couldn't stop.
Right. You forget what drives you and what should drive you. That's your problem. But
You know what your problem is?
I
No.
know. Thanks.
yeah, just one more doesn't apply to that lifestyle.
I know.
You have to cut yourself
You have to
off
set
because
it.
you're using energy. But we normally work in a 11 light situation only. I was driven into the paranormal with your whole experience, everything that you just told us. Wrap that all up and then put that into my life, and I didn't know any different. That was my life on a daily basis. So when I figured out that I wasn't like everybody else, that was my shock.
Right.
I had no clue. I was 7 when I finally realized I'm different.
Oh, I never like had that happen. I mean, this has happened. Like I've known as an empath the entire time as a child. You know, growing up in my grandmother's home with all those people from my family that has passed away in that house. You know, and displayed in that house since the 1800s. There's like 15, 16 family members that are a record of being laid out,
Viewed.
and viewed
That was
in that
very
house.
In her
common.
bedroom.
Yep.
So when the 1970s rolled
Perfect
around,
place for Riley.
Yeah.
when the 1970s rolled around and the house still stood and we left Arizona for Pennsylvania, it was just a normal everyday thing. I didn't think anything of it. But growing up in my mother's religion, which is Russian Orthodox, they don't talk about that. They think that you're chasing demons because there's a
yeah.
heaven
A lot of
and hell
religions,
and there's nothing in between. And I got into this big argument with my mom the other day about it, and she asked me if I was still chasing demons, and I said yes, I am.
Yep.
And you could hear him yelling from the living room, "Why are you poking the bear?"
I tell her not to.
what
Don't
are you
even
doing?
talk religion with your mom.
And she goes, well, I don't believe that there's such thing. Now, this has happened. This conversation came right after my aunt's death. So I said, why don't you go to the
It's not the
priest?
first time in the conversation.
Why don't you go to your priest and ask your priest
Yeah,
if
like
he believes in the supernatural, if he believes in the paranormal? I said, and if he says yes, will you believe him then, that there is the paranormal? She goes, yes. I said, so you would believe him, but you don't believe me as a paranormal investigator? And she goes, no, because you didn't go to preschool. you didn't get your degree in being a priest.
You said that so fast it sounded like you
I
said you
thought
didn't go to
preschool too,
preschool.
and I'm like, what
Preschool.
does
You
that
go to
sound like?
preschool.
Preschool, Riley.
Priest.
It's okay if you went to kindergarten.
Preschool.
Skip preschool.
What do you call it? Catechism or something?
Catechism.
That's
Yeah.
CCD.
Or
That's totally
CCD.
different.
something. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, that's in my religion.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Ryan's going through that now.
where you go to
He does
become a
not want
You
deacon
should almost be
or
done.
a priest or a bishop in the Russian Orthodox religion. So
The good thing, though,
Yeah.
about the different religions is that Ryan, he's being brought up Roman Catholic, but he knows about different religions. He knows about the Wiccan religion. He respects other religions, and he doesn't have the blinders on. You know what I mean? Like I did all my life.
Right. And well, I think it's changed with time too, because I can remember even when we're not too far apart in age. Steph is another category, but
Shut up.
but the three of us
I
aren't too
think
far
I'm
apart.
older than everyone here. A lot
Well, you
older.
might.
you win the Medal of Honor, baby.
Well, I can remember just even all of my friends going. I wasn't raised Catholic. I was raised Protestant. So all of my friends went to CCD, and that was still like being Roman Catholic. With them, it was still really like we'd have sleepovers, and they'd have to leave to go to church.
They gotta
in the
go to church.
morning.
And,
You know.
so it's still ritualistic.
CYO.
You gotta,
It still is to
Yeah.
this day. Everything is. I was born and raised Catholic, and but I knew, like there's a whole other world out there. I went to Catholic school, and my mom used to have to send me to Catholic
I did
school
too, when I
and
was
say,
little.
don't tell the other kids who's around them, don't tell them what color they are, because I could see auras. And like, it was so strict, you couldn't even wear your Halloween costume to school on Halloween. And I had a very tough time going to Catholic school.
Wow.
I left in 5th grade because it was just so much easier.
I
did
born-
too, 5th grade, I
I was
was-
raised
See?
Went to
Wiccan,
public
but
school.
then when I
That's
moved
cool.
to Pennsylvania, it was Russian Orthodox, my mother's religion, but I followed my father's religion. And my mother did the same thing. She tried to, get the Native American out of me and send me to a Catholic school. So, my mom would get a phone call. My
Look
mom
at
would
the
get a
Native
phone
American out
call
of you.
from one of the sisters there at the school. Where is she? Well, we don't know where she is. And they would go searching for me, and they'd find me sliding down the banisters, like 4 stories up without any, just sliding down the banisters. So they're like, okay, well, let's put her in public school and see how well that one works. Because the sisters did not like me. Oh my God. They said the Hail Marys and the
Out of
rosaries.
control.
Yeah.
Well, the lesson of this whole conversation is it is totally okay to be different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lesson of this
100%
conversation
agreed.
is be the religion you want to be, and
Be
believe what
who
you
you
want
want
to
to
be.
be.
Yeah.
Judgment aside, who cares what anybody thinks?
Because in the end, we're all going somewhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, nobody makes it out alive.
It's very true. And we probably all go to the same place, only nobody wants to believe
Yep.
it. So
This is The Walking Dead.
I've never seen that show.
Oh,
I've
you
never
need
She
to.
watched
won't
that
watch it.
show.
She won't watch it.
You
We
need
tried to put it on
The
one night, and
actors
she made me
would
shut
come
it
up
off.
to me at these events, and I would be like, "Hi, I'm Riley Black. Who are you?" And they would be like, "You don't know who I am?" No, I have I don't.
No.
Well, most
who
of them
are
were
you?
covered in 8 hours worth of makeup.
Yeah.
But even still, I have no idea who the main characters are. Unless they were in something else.
it has a good storyline. I started watching it from episode 1.
Yeah, but if it's
She
not
knows
True
the guy from
Blood-
the Boondock Saints.
Yes, I
Norman
know.
Reedus?
Yes.
So-
See, I like him better in Boondock Saints than I do
They're
in
making
Walking
a
Dead.
Boondock 3.
I didn't even like Boondock 2. Boondock 2 didn't do it for
We
me.
love those movies.
Boondock 1 was like the be-all end-all. I was obsessed.
Oh my
Boondock 2 kind
God.
of disappointed me a little bit.
Hey, every time he goes into battle, I say the shepherd's prayer or something like to it. In nomine Patri Filii Spiritus Sancti.
It was an excellent movie. 2 wasn't as good. Maybe 3 will be better.
Well, that's everyone's homework
Hopefully.
assignment. Watch Boondock Saints 1, 2,
Yes,
1 and 2,
yes.
and catch up on Walking Dead.
But we do have about a minute left. So
Yes.
thank you guys so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for
and
having us.
Thank you. And where can they find you if
Everywhere.
they want to check out your website?
We were
Oh
in
my
North
God.
Providence, so
All they gotta do is just Google my name. That's it. I swear to God, if you Google my name.
blackcrossparanormal.com
Yeah.
or
Or Riley Black.
clubpara.com.
Yep, you guys have a
Either
lot
one
of
of
different.
those. We're both on Facebook.
Yeah.
Riley and Steven with a PH.
And your homework is to go home and create like pages so you get weirdos off your pages.
I have like pages. I've got, do you know how many forums
Yeah,
I
she's
actually
got
have
it.
Put 'em on
Facebook?
over there.
I have like over 20 different forums of paranormal stuff that people just join. And they don't even know that I'm the admin. Like, what's the one we even created? The Drunken Negativity Paranormal Paralounge.
I wasn't even sure what that was. I'm like, who in the world added me? Oh, it's Riley.
What's
Okay,
the
I'll
other
keep
one? It's an orb. No, it's Auntie
it. Audrey.
Audrey.
I didn't know what that one is either.
That's
the only reason
because,
it's
you
still
know,
on
I'm
there is
tired
because it's
of
you.
Because I'm
They're
tired.
just joke places where people in the
Right.
community can post jokes or have
Well,
fun.
I
and-
got tired of the para-unity, right?
Oh.
People, I'm all for getting along with people, but para-unity, I don't do that. So we made the Drunken Para-Negativity Para-Lounge page, okay? So then we got the pictures of the orbs. People keep saying this, oh, I think this is my grandmother, I think this is my dog, I think this... No. If it's that's why we said if you're sending us pictures of orbs
Send
and
them
you
back
think
a
it's your
picture of
grandmother,
pledge.
this group is not for you. Just get out. Like it's just it's
Well-
all joke.
and that's on Facebook. You can go check that out too.
And Club Para is
Yeah.
this Friday.
yes
At
from
what
8
time?
to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And who's the guest this
We
week?
have D.A. Roberts is coming on, author D.A. Roberts. He's going to make an appearance and talk about his zombie apocalypse books. Yeah.
Even
So,
more. Why you should watch The Walking Dead.
I've got 3 books to read by Friday, so I'm like trying to catch up on that.
Oh, that's tough. Well,
Yeah.
definitely check Tiff and I out. We will be on December 20th on your show.
Yes,
Yes.
you guys are going to be
So-
coming on, hanging out with me at Club Pirate. It's going to be a
Cool,
lot of fun.
pre-Christmas.
Awesome.
Because there is no censor button.
That's okay.
Good.
I feel like a trucker, so it's a
Uncensored
perfect
and
place for
uncut.
me.
Good, good, good. And
Yeah.
for those Legend Trippers, Stephanie and I will be at the Ponte Victorian Mansion this Saturday. I'm excited. It's our first time.
I heard that place is rocking. A couple of my friends of mine just had an event there, and we've been trying to go there. It's just every time we schedule to get there, something else comes up and we have to cancel.
Life
so.
events.
Life event.
Well,
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome. So it is 8 o'clock, so we have to go. But goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next
Have a
week.
good, yes.
Bye.
See you later. Have a good night.